Alright, Rosinante with the Supernova build and Tony Chopper, sticking with the mix of the Animal and Drum Kingdom cards. Rosinante is still the only leader that can block, which is very lore accurate to the anime. When I first played against him, I was still new to the game and definitely did not know how to deal with him and use his Captain Kid as a combo. Chopper is able to distribute Rested Dawn like the Nami card from the STO1 starter deck, except he gives 3 and not 1. Going first, the strategy here was to survive to my 9 Dawn curve and play out Captain Kid to wall up using Rosinante's skill to protect him from behind the lines. This is one of the main reasons I chose the Supernova build using Bonnie to search for him. Adrian is a very aggressive player, so I was counting on him to prioritize protecting his characters instead of his life. Rouge helps me cheat out 1 Dawn at the end of turn, helping me set up my 2-cost events like Spiderweb Overheat and Punk Gibson. You will notice a couple of turns I disregard his skill. To be honest, I forgot to do them, however, with the build I have, they would just been bluffs leaving 1 Dawn up. Shut Up and Come With Us is a very good event card helping Chopper cheat out a 3-cost or less animal character. This helps the deck become more aggressive early game because you would want to search for the Chopper card that lets you play a 4000 power or less animal from your hand. Of course, you still need to counter out because this event card does nothing but summon, so you guard or you take the hit. This is one of the best uses for Rosinante's blocker skill. With Bonnie rested, she's vulnerable to attacks, so having the leader block helps her stay alive. The bad part is that there are 3 potential attacks coming my way. It just depends on where Adrian directs his swings. You see, the Chopper deck plays a bunch of low-cost bodies. This helps with swarming the field. The only drawback is if you do not see the Shut Up and Come With Us event or have the 3-cost summoning Chopper already established on the field, your hand starts to rapidly dwindle. See, that's what I found weird. He let go of the Hiking Bear instead of giving up one of the Chopper blockers. Hiking Bear being able to give another animal plus 1000 power would have helped power up his Winter Chopper, making him at 5000 power even before his leader skill happens. He's also one of the components used to go aggro. And there's Captain Kid. Now we just need to stay healthy to 9 Dawn. Also, this is one of the turns that I forgot to apply a Rouge's skill, even though I just played him out. But then again, 1 Dawn up is just a bluff. With OP10 around the corner, what decks will you be playing? I'm excited for the Usopp deck finally bringing back Dressrosa in the spotlight, but we all know the main reason is that he's a blue-black leader that can swing and is not a promo nerfed leader like Sakazuki. If the deck doesn't live up to the hype though, I may just stick to Raw Bucci again. And that's if he doesn't get banned later on in this month's announcements. But back to the match though. When Adrian took out Dr. Hairylook, it made sense as to why he didn't protect Hiking Bear, but to be honest, the blockers are only 1k and Hiking Bear is a 3k character. He would have been able to use Hairylook's skill, then boost the blocker chopper with Hiking Bear, then use that Cloven Rose, allowing him to swing higher. See, his choppers, including the leader, are now going to be swinging 5, 5, 6, and 8. Had he went the other route, the swings would have been 5, 6, 6, 8. I know what you're thinking. It's just 1k, what's the difference? In my experience, that extra 1k could decide the match later down the road. Okay, now here's something Adrian and I didn't catch. He countered 1k to my body's 1k swing to his 0 attack hitter look. And if I can remember correctly, the doctor stayed on the field the rest of the match. Carrot is such a great card. Her skill freezes a 7 cost or less when she's played and when she attacks. This skill can be used to freeze certain characters, like blockers that attacked, or have activate mains that require the rest of the character, or just plain strong 7 cost characters preserving my life longer. The fortunate thing was that Adrian's field was pretty much taken care of, minus Hairylook staying on the field. If you notice, his hand is now down to 2 after playing this chopper blocker. Again, I'm lucky he hasn't found or drawn the summon chopper or another shut up and come with us event card. Another chopper he uses is the green chopper from OP09's Odyssey package. That chopper allows him to make one of his straw hats active at the end of turn. Man, it's only because his characters are all low cost, Punk Gibson is doing work. Finally, at 9 Dawn, this match is about to be locked down by Kid. With the Rouge as a blocker, Rosinante as a blocker, Kid will be harder to take down. Not to mention Bonnie hiding behind him, finding more blockers, 2Ks, and even the last of my Punk Gibsons. I do have to get rid of that chopper blocker in the middle, as he can lower Kid's attack by 2000, making it easier to swing at. All he would need to do on his turn is to apply 2 Dawn on that chopper and then swing into Kid and the ability's live to minus 2000 power. When playing Kid, One of the main characters played with his activated main ability is the 2-cost Rosinante blocker. His ability to trash himself to protect any rested character from being KO'd makes it even much harder to get rid of Kid. I didn't use the Regis ability again. I think it's because I didn't have any events in my hand, so my mind didn't trigger the thought of doing it. But even so, I still call that a misplay. Then there's this Roger misplay as well. Adrian thought that if I block, I lose, but what he forgot was that someone needs to be at 0 life for that to happen. Regardless, it was his only play since he's top decking right now. Now I start structuring the wall that I put up, collecting counters and swinging correctly. Also, of course I couldn't let Roger stay on board. And there goes Bonnie, looking at the top 5, and I think I'm going for a 2k. If it's not a Ruge's skill, it's the leader's skill, I forget. You know, my thoughts at this point was that I'm in such a great spot that I believe I have this match. But you never know, there's always something that can be played to turn the tide. That 14k swing confirmed that this match was indeed mine. It's just a matter of time for me to take out all his life. You know, if there's one thing that Rosinante's taught me was to not get ahead of myself and make sure I'm covered. Just like my Rebecca deck, you need to be patient and not rush plays. This is one of those just in case scenarios, because even with Kid on board, I'm still at 1 life myself. Now, I know, I was misplaying a couple of the other turns, and that's something I need to work on. The unfortunate thing about playing this event late game, especially when you're in a tight spot, is that by playing this card, you enter the counter step, meaning even if you found a blocker, you wouldn't be able to block with it and still need to counter out or take the hit. Sugar is one of the most annoying cards you can play when playing a Donquixote leader. Her on-play lets you rest a 4-cost or less character. Then, with her on opponent's turn once per turn ability while having a Donquixote leader, when your opponent plays a character, she can rest any character on their field even if she's rested herself. At this point, even if we were to take on another Roger, my Rosinante would protect Captain Kid, or I'd just counter out, or I'd let Kid die, then counter out his leader swing, then swing for game next turn with Carrot for 16k. Although the target's not big, this is what I meant by Sugar's ability resting any character when a character's played. At some point during this match, I did realize that Adrian wasn't familiar with most of the Donquixote cards because the only meta Donquixote leader is Blvd Flamingo, but he plays nothing but Warlords. Yep, that's the strategy. Block her up and counter her up. I do admire the fact that he doesn't scoop like other people do and fight till the end. There goes the first summon chopper all game. Sucks it's this late though. Another unfortunate part on this chopper's skill is that whomever he calls out comes out rested, but that's what balances his skill and why it's a combo with the Shut Up and Come With Us event card. With those two as a combo, you can use it on your opponent's last swing, which is why they come in rested, or else it'd be too broken of a card. Okay, one blocker, 3 cards in hand with a possible rad beam. Just gotta math out the swings. 9k swing with Kid, then 11-11 with Carrot and Rosinante. Of course I could just do 9, 15, and 5 if he gives up the blocker first, but again, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. With the dawn up for the rad beam being a bluff, this match has finally come to an end. GG's, man. What's up guys, here's my Rosinante build. First off, 4 Bunny Searchers. She searches for any supernova card, including herself. With the leader skill, you can protect her at the potential cost of 1 life to continue searching as much as you can afford. Next is a playset of Scratchman Apu from EB01. He's mainly used as a 2k counter and searchable by Bonnie, but you never know what 2-cost blocker you can potentially rest when needed. Next is a playset of Apu from Starter Deck 2. He's also mainly used as a 2k counter and searchable by Bonnie, but you never know what leader you're facing that you might need to rest at dawn, for example, Red Hawk and Shanks, Gum Gum Giant and Purple Straw Hat decks, or even Bonnie leader herself. A playset of Sugar. Sugar is another character you would want to protect with your leader's skill. She's able to stop big rush plays like Goldie Roger or even 10-drop Shanks himself, helping you solve the game or rest blockers of all types. Donquixote Rosinante. This 2-cost blocker can trash himself to prevent any rested character from being KO'd. Of course, as I mentioned during the match, he can be called out with Kid and protect him while he's rested, making Kid harder to be taken down. He could also be searched by Bonnie, and he could also be used to protect Sugar. Another Donquixote Rosinante blocker. His ability allows you to attack with him, then become active on your opponent's swing. You can use Spiderweb in a blocking combo as well. You'd block, Spiderweb to make him active again, then block again. He can also be called out with Captain Kidd. Next is a Rouge. On top of being a blocker, his end of turn skill allows you to use an extra Dawn while setting up enough to play any of these 3 events. A playset of Carrot. Her on-play and when attacking skill allows her to freeze any characters 7 cost or less. With that said, this also includes attackers, blockers, and searchers. The game changer Hody Jones. While having Rush, he allows you to rest up to 2 Dawn and or characters at the cost of 1 life. Even if you were at 0 life, his ability still works. Three uses Captain Kidd. So long as he's rested with a Dawn under him, your opponent has to swing into him first before anyone else. You can definitely use your leader to protect him, and he can call any of these characters with his activated main ability. 2 9-drop Shanks. Not only is he an 11k character, but he can also KO any rested character on board. A 1 of 9 cost Zoro. If by chance you have Captain Kidd on board, Zoro is able to swing right behind him 3 times, creating a devastating impact on my opponent's side. Two, whoever wins this war. This event is here just in case I need to counter out and all I have are bricks in my hand. Two overheats. At the cost of 2, I can give my leader or character plus 4000 power. I can also bounce back a 3 cost or less on either side of the field. Spiderweb also gives your leader or character plus 4000 power. This allows you to make any of your characters active. Just remember not to make Kidd active. Lastly, Punk Gibson. This also gives my character or leader plus 4000 power while resting a 4 cost or less. The trigger is really good, being able to rest any character as well. And that's my deck profile. Until next time, everyone.